Hi, this is Comfortable Shoes Studio. I'm Leslie, and this is another episode of art making. In this episode, I am working on a prepared background. I prepare a bunch of backgrounds in my art journal, and then I make art on them later. So, in this session, I am using a fountain pen on I think it's a Tim Holtz Distress Crayon background, and yeah, so this is just going to be a relaxing, chill session, kind of art with me if you would like. So I made these backgrounds with Tim Holtz Distress crayons that I tested in a previous episode. They were sent to me as a gift, and I made a really muted background. And I'm using a fountain pen with Rohr and Klinger Latte sketching. So one of the things that I do learn through this process is that the Tim Holtz Distress crayons create a little bit of a waxy residue on the page that the fountain means that the sketch ink can't bond to the fibers of the paper. So I do end up getting a lot of lift from this fountain pen ink, which I don't normally get. This fountain pen ink is usually quite waterproof and does not lift all that well or all that much. Because it's not really something I look for in this particular ink is liftability. I really want it to be waterproof on the page. So I made this background just sort of randomly, not really not really focusing on making it look like a landscape, but when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this is a landscape. Just sort of tried to make sort of a middle tone, um, like a light mid-tone wash over the whole thing. And then I'm adding in texture and darker areas with the fountain pen. I believe I go back in with a some watercolors to really kind of flesh out this scene. Um, just sort of letting the blobs on the page guide me, if you will. I'm kind of extracting the scene from what's already there, pulling things out, highlighting them with the fountain pen ink, and just really just relaxing into this. This is a morning session that I did. Um, this is one of those things that I do in the morning, kind of set my day off right. So this was probably a slightly over 20-minute session. I did speed it up. I'm working much slower than what it looks like in this video. So this is sped up 2 times. And yeah, I find this sort of practice a little meditative and just a really nice way to set my day off in a good way. And I know I've said that before on the YouTube channel here, but yeah, it's just sort of nice to do this and relax into it. And you see in the margin of the page, I do clean that nib off a little bit. Um, and then what have I got here? This might be a G 207. Oh no, this is a Jinhao with a Fude nib. So I'm really slathering ink on. The Jinhao is a fire hose. When it comes to putting down ink, it just really lays down a ton of ink. I think I'm going to switch this one out. Right now it's got the same Rohr and Klinger fountain pen ink. I think I'm going to switch it out for the platinum carbon black, which I think doesn't is not paper reactive. So the Rohr and Klinger noodlers and all of those blacks seem to be paper reactive. Um, and so even if I dry it with a hair dryer or my heat gun, if the paper is not absorbent enough or I get too much of the R&K ink on there, it will lift and smear into watercolors, which I don't always mind. But when I really want clean color, um, I need to use this particular ink. on a really clean page or on a page that's not mixed media. So this is a problem when you are a mixed media artist or you're using mixed media in your sketchbook or art journal. If you're looking for waterproof ink, normally the Roaring Klinger sketch ink series is really, really good for that. Um, but in this case, because I've used the mixed media, the distress crayons on this page, it is a problem. It just can't bond to the fibers of the paper because the distress crayons have already gotten in there and disrupted it and coated the paper. So here you're going to see where the watercolor lifts that color up. I'm mixing up a big pool of this blue gray color. This is the Y plus um, little pocket palette, and I've mixed up. So I did pull that purple out of it, and I replaced it with sepia, which makes a lovely gray color, sort of a neutral gray, um, and can make a really nice deep dark shadow color. So that makes the palette that much more useful with that sepia in there. So going in there, adding some green and that gray, just really darkening up what I see as a sunrise off the coast of Maine. If you don't know, I am originally from Maine. I grew up in coastal Maine, deep out in the boondocks, if you will. And yeah, so this just reminds me of where I grew up. So so now I'm going back in. I'm adding some more intense colors with the watercolors, some more yellows, greens, and other colors. This is an imaginative scene. This is not a real place, real location. Um, yeah, just sort of going with the flow here. And I believe I'm using the water brush that came with this set. Um, it's interesting. I said it was a coastal scene, and then I added some browns and yellows in so that the what looked like water initially looked more like grass. I do think so. My camera is definitely changing the color a little bit. I think I need to work on the color here. Um, I've definitely, after this video, I've changed some of the lighting setup that I've have, and I think that's definitely made the coloration a little better in my videos. So yeah, adding some orange in here, little sunrise scene, um, or a series of scenes, if you will. Yeah, now I'm just adding some. Maybe it's a sunset. I don't know. Is it a sunset? Is it a sunrise? I think I'm really feeling like it was a sunrise scene. I don't know why. Yeah. So adding in some pinks, getting the washes in there, really using the water brush to move that wash around. Adding in some more orange. Just kind of moving around the whole thing. And notice that there are no words. This is, again, sort of a comic style page or a paneled grid art journal page. I've been really enjoying these a lot lately. I didn't realize they were called a grid journal until something popped up on my YouTube, and here we are. So I was thinking about these as comics inspired. These panels very much to me feel like a comic book. I do know that most of the artists that do the grid journals do evenly sized um, areas on their grids. It's not built up like a comic book where the panels are different sizes across the page. So I think that's the slight difference that I'm bringing to this is that my panels are all kinds of different sizes, generally rectangles or wonky rectangles because I don't measure and I don't use a ruler for these. And then I'm cleaning it up with my usual fat acrylic paint marker. I know I do need to pick up a white one, but I have found that the white acrylic paint markers just don't work as well as the black ones. They're not as opaque. Um, I'd end up having to do multiple layers just to get a clean edge. I suppose I could also use some white washi tape, but even that is not always opaque. Yeah, so that's that. That's my little paneled grill grid art journal page, just a chill morning session, get my day set right. Um, Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. And if you really enjoyed this, head over to my Ko-fi account. Link is in the description, and follow me there. You no need to. There's a free tier and plenty of stuff posted. All right, thanks and bye.